I didn't think it was gonna come down to this, but it did. But it did. I know. I wasn't sure if I was gonna be doing this at all because like idol reactions don't get much reaction. But after what happened in last week's episode, I decided to come with it. So yeah, what's up YouTube? This is Radio Station here, coming to you with a special edition. I guess I do not know. Oh, this is gonna be a regular thing. This is gonna be episode 9 of Selection Project, and as you know, this was something that Kadokawa was promoting to hell over literally everything else, which is actually unusual because when you see Kadokawa nowadays, they usually are promoting isekai fantasy stuff, especially ReZero. And so when I see that they were spamming this to hell and back with the music videos and all of that, with the girls here, you know, the lineup we got here, Susan, Marina, like also the voice actors, most of them are relatively new, so that says something. There's like Suzune, Reina, Uta, Nagisa, Mato, Norika, Shidori, Yomi, and I'll like, even if I don't remember those names, I'll be like, oh, like okay, I know that one. But yeah, they're all really nice characters. But the one that I keep having to you know, like the ones that I focus, like it's obviously Susan and Reina, and that episode from episode 8 was just, it was like people complain like, yeah, it was predictable, but because of what the focus they give on the characters as opposed to what Eileen Pride did, I felt like the payoff for that part was a lot more substantial. Because Eileen Pride, okay, so from what I remember, sadly I don't remember so much from it, but I remember that the priorities for that one were questionable, to say the least. Like, I feel that Ali Pride did not focus on the cast. It focused on a very nagging plot with the producer and a late idol, you know, or maybe a late would-be idol, and they focus too much on that ghost thing. And spoilers to anyone who somehow did not watch that. And then they look at selection projects like, oh, that's not. But the thing is, I think it's a different approach. I don't like how I didn't like the criticism based on that. Predictability isn't always bad. It depends on execution. Like if it's impactful, if it has weight, if it has value, it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's predictable. Like it did its job. I mean, yeah. Also, yeah, I want to keep people alive. It's more of a mystery. Oh yeah. Ali Pride's more of a mystery themed idol. You're right on that, Mad Lad. And thank you for coming to the stream. I was expecting you to come here because I know you were covering the show as well, but I decided to do so because after seeing episode 8, I was like, oh wow, that went well. I was enjoying it on my own time, but after episode 8, and then seeing the update for seeing the staff. Thanks, shout out to Sneaky on Twitter. Sneaky YYRE. I mixed the pin usually he will have really good really nice posts about informations and stuff. But there is one particular post related to Shoko Tensei and 86 that I wasn't disagreement with, but it's fine. It's all good. And I saw the storyboarder for this episode. It's by Kyoko Sayama, and if you have not known about this yet, this is the same one that also does the storyboarding for the likes of Death Note, the likes of Nana, and the likes of Skip Beat, which is interesting. So I'd have to feel like there is a character sort of comparison sort of thing going on, but I don't know. But like I can't tell from the PV I got the preview pictures I got here. So yeah, um, this is gonna be like I will try not to expect too much, but from what I've heard, this one's gonna be a doozy. So let's begin. And I hope because it's an idol, Katakol doesn't flag me for shit. Like I know what they are. I know sometimes they're on some crap. Like some of these studios, like Aniplex, be on some crap when they be trying to be dishing out copyrights like fucking no tomorrow. But yeah, hopefully everything comes. I was not sure if I was gonna do that. Like I'm pretty sure like after this I'm gonna be like typing to hell about this, you know, depending on how I feel, or just taking a dip, go to sleep. You're gonna take a long ass nap, like, cause sleep hasn't been pleasant for me, and I blame my, and you know what? I blame my old ass devices for that. But alright, let's begin. So, by the way, I have not skipped the opening and the ending for this for all these episodes, mind you. Like I am legit not kidding. I have not skipped it once. Not like I promise you guys that. Like for most other shows, the seasonals I usually just skip it and anything in there. But when the opening and ending bangs, it bangs. Anyways, 3, 2, 1, let's jam. I mean, I do have mixed feelings on Love Live, to be fair, but that's another thing. Like, I don't think they're comparable. You know, they're as comparable as you think. Sorry. Okay, so did anyone notice that? Oh, he's singing a one yon. That the little cut, that the part where it says the little kanji that says your heart, it's being covered by a little dot or like like that looks like a wet spot of sorts. I wonder if that was intentional or if it was just like okay, like maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me tripping. But something about the dot that was on the kanji there, I was like, wait, why is it? Why is it just randomly? Why is it just randomly there? Like that's where when his name was crying, that's where it dropped onto, and I noticed it just dropped onto the kanji. So yeah, interesting. Like I overlooked that in the episode 8. It was like, oh wait, never mind. I don't. Oh no, Chiaya flashback. Oh, she's dreaming. Is You know what the crazy thing her voice. Susane's voice actor sings most of the ending theme. Oh wow, yeah, that's a dream. Oh boy. Not because you're playing a role, because they like you. Oh yeah, I have to remember, like they have to vote for or against each other. Nope. Hmm. I was about to say they're literally like a second family, even though this is literally an elimination game. But want everyone to stay. That's what you would say. There's just different mindsets with this, with the approach to this question. Some are just trying to brush it off, others are just being frank. That's why these interviews are kind of interesting, because they're literally all alone and they're just like they have to try to say something fun on the camera. So she's basically saying like I don't want to vote off anyone. Yep. I don't think anyone there wants to vote off each other like that. That's a man. Also, sorry for the little hiccup there. This PC sometimes does that. Man. Yeah, what happened to Rain? She hasn't. I just noticed this guy voice has Jotaro's voice. I'm mad. Or I think he has that voice. I think there's a way to keep them together. I know it could be a very silly way, but this is this is really tested. This is a really a mental test to them. Like, do they care? Do they prioritize more about themselves, or do they prioritize more about what about the friends they made along the way? I know it's like the not the most groundbreaking thing in the world, but we've been exposed to them long enough to realize the the weight of those emotions behind this. Like, is she? Compared to everyone else, Rena is like the one that is the most closed up. She never really opened up to anyone because there's a cloud over it. Oh, it might not be a pearl, it may be just an ordinary rock. Some pep talk there. Wait, what? Imagine the world can live on. Singing is my life. I'm still concerned for his name. Like, I don't know how much time. I'm not so sure if the time she has with that transpired heart of hers is limited. Because with Idly Pride, like when she received it, it's not like she was receiving any physical. She's still receiving any physical problems, but Mm. That's. I mean, it's still hard. Hmm. Hmm. Aw. Them. Take her. Wow. Oof, man. Yeah, what is she gonna say? That was a really nice moment. Show it afterwards. Season one. 7 years ago. Yeah, she's just walking in the footsteps. Damn. She's being a fan of her own sister, huh? That's crazy. The fact that she allies her sister, try to be everything like her, but the fact that she can't even say that for herself, that she can only say she's singing, just follow in her footsteps, not because she lives for it. She doesn't understand it yet, or hasn't felt that, had that feeling yet. Yeah, she gonna vote herself off? Is it that? She's she's dropping out, isn't she? Because try to get it back for her. No, that's not gonna work. You don't just brigade vote. You don't just vote brigade for her. That's not gonna work out. I can show you. They're gonna bust it out. They're not like the Miami list mods. Yeah. The fact that she's there because she wants to follow in her sister's footsteps, but the one she's been actually been associated with as a fellow singer, kind of a rival, I guess. A part of a part of her sister is within her, so like it's just like I've been following her footsteps, but a part of her is just right with them. So yeah, it's really hard. Because the thing she's been chasing after is like just right next there, and like where do you go from there? Damn, this is tough. Like how do you I don't know how to really sum this up. Oh man. I also noticed that the ending kind of changed up. Because it has that one girl's voice. I think it was I can't recall it. Man, this is good. The good old voting box. She she just she just threw it though. Only seven get to stay. Wait, what if the twist? What if the twist is that Susan and Rena don't advance I've had a really uh, a really uneasy feeling when she was the last one that dropped off the vote, and like I'm just thinking, is she just gonna like if Rand doesn't want to compete, I don't want to compete anymore because I'm the source of the reason why she's not wanting to feel like competing anymore. That's the feeling I'm getting. I feel that could be that's the uneasy feeling I have. And if what I feel is gonna happen next week is gonna come to fruition, then man, I don't know what to say. Then like after that, where do you go from there? Like there's possibilities like maybe you could just start our own little Duno or something, but at the same time, like how is everyone else gonna feel about this? There's still gonna be a backlash. What's gonna be there? Okay, so here's what I liked more about this than what Ali Pride did, and don't get me wrong, I know people like there's some people that like Ali Pride, but I have my issues with it because it did too much of a detour with the ghost thing, and I was just like, no, I'm not digging it. And they didn't try any supernatural shit here, thank God. There's no like, oh, she can sing because she can sing because she has that. No, I don't think they have not implied that Susan is able to sing because she has Akari's heart, or donated heart. No, that's not the thing here. They never blatantly stated that, or like they did with Ali Pride. And that when they did that with Ali Pride, I was just like, oh, wait, what? How do you feel about the drama aspect of the show? It's alright. Like it's alright at worst. It's not like particularly. It's not something I would say is the best fucking writing in the world, but it's the one where like it doesn't try to do anything too great. It just kind of. There are times where it feels like it's down to earth. Like when it's kind of like. It's sort of like that. In a way, what they're doing here is kind of like a reality show, but it feels, but in a good way. Like it's not stupid. It's not like this stupid drama you usually see in actual Western reality shows. I'm not gonna name any because I know most of them are pretty trash. The Zombie Idol show is better in my opinion. You mean Zombieland Saga? I agree and disagree to an extent because the thing is, Zombieland Saga is meant to be more of a parody, so I don't think it's really per se comparable when most of that shit is a parody, and it does know how to handle its characters in one way or another, but the characters themselves, I don't really have much of a connection for compared to this show here. I really don't. Like yeah, they're at least easy to point out, but for me, like I can't take much out of them, like because they're displayed in a way where I can't take them seriously enough to really get attached to them whatsoever. Because I feel like for idol shows, for me, when it comes to the strengths, it really comes down to, can I get connected to these characters? I feel like when an idol show or a music theme show does more of that, because I feel like the whole thing, music comes from the heart, and heart comes with character, and hence character for me, characters should be prioritized in most of these shows like this, in my opinion. Because like when it comes, because it doesn't matter story still matters. It still matters in the end. Like this setup here, like, and I'm just gonna say this right now. I don't like the Sumi Panda guy. It's just kind of weird whenever this man talks or shows up on screen. Like that's the one nitpick I do have with the show. Like we don't need this man. We don't need that dude. My theory for the next episode, I feel okay. So my prediction is that Rana and Susanne will drop out, but there could be a twist. I mean, it could be anybody. It could be two particular people that also don't feel really good about this. I know everyone else don't. Like I know everyone else have their are not you know everyone one of them are not in agreement with it, but two have to go. And from those 9, which 2 will have to take leave? And I feel like it's gonna be ironically, or rather not ironically, Reina and Susanne, because like I said before, Reina may not feel like she wants to compete anymore, and Susanne, knowing she is like having the reason of why she was trying to chase after this in the first place, just being right there, and then so Rena's really mixed on in terms of her motivations now. Like not that her like her literally part of her sister is like right there next to her and someone else, regardless of how like what it really is. Like, oh, it's part of her, but it's not like, oh, she's there. Well, it's not like she's necessarily there in spirit. It's still Susanne's own ability that helped her to this point. But it's still like I have to try to think from her perspective. Like, what's the point anymore? Like, I've been following this, and my sister's kind of really right next to me this whole time. So I've been chasing after her, and it's like I can't with this anymore. It's a really bad deal, because in the end, because the thing what also mentions is like I hope the granny, the the old man, that lady talks some sense, because like Rana thinks about the whole thing like, oh, it's my thing, like what I have is probably just a plain old rock, because you know how like pearls usually form in oysters. They usually start as a sort of rock, but then like the oyster just kind of this sort of collection of sand and sorts, and then it will kind of form into a pearl, and it's just like, oh, I'm probably just a rock. And Ray's like, no, probably not just simply a rock. But yeah, that's my predictions right now. To go back to Andrew's just thing with thinking about the Zombie Isle show, I really don't like comparing it to this one, because that's different. Because that's them just being forced into a group and just like doing all, like, it's more like Zombieland Saga is more comparable to something like Love Live, if anything, but more of a parody of it. Like, they're literally trying to revive Idol in that world, because apparently Idol is kind of dying out, and you're trying to use that to instill hope into it. I have my misgivings for Zombieland Saga. Frankly, I wasn't really liking much of those characters, admittingly. Like, I just could not get attached to them. Like, no hate on it. It's just that it just wasn't there for me. Like, I will still watch the movie and such. Like, I'll still watch most of it until it ends, but it doesn't do a lot. It doesn't do a whole lot more than just a parody, and so it's a totally different thing. Even though it is kind of under the Idol tag. I could to a lot of people, Zombieland Saga definitely was something to be called a masterpiece, but I don't have much more of a comment on that, because that would just derail the point of it. So the reason why I think the whole the storyboarding was similar to that with hold on, I need to pull up this tweet first. The reason why I feel like there's some sense of like Kyoko Sarama in here is that the way the highlighting of this episode was based on the sort of I guess like a light and dark sort of thing for Reina and Suzune, like the relationship they sort of have, like it's kind of sort of comparable to that like you see in Nana. I'm not so sure about Death Note, but it's kind of like a remote thing to where how their relation is like, because you can't really say they're your typical friends, but you can't say they're enemies or typical rivals. They just have that sort of connection to them, like with Nana and with the two Nanas, and then with like L and Light in their own particular series, and to where like they can't really cope well without the presence of the other. It's kind of like how they're magnetically kind of drawn together in a way, and how the interactions are, and how Reina just tried to, and how both of them just kind of came forward with their feelings about the revelation. That's why I felt like the storyboarding for that came off from, like just a sort of relationship with Reina and Suzune and how interesting it is. But I mean, I could be just wrong and just like, oh, she just changed up with something more interesting otherwise. Well, yeah, that's the real deal. Love Live is just something they milk on so they can get more mecha anime out. Yeah, that's the real goal there. But yeah, I really liked this episode. It was a really how do I say this? A really nice, really heartwarming scene with the two. It didn't get me a whole lot of up in the feels, but I think that will be saved for the next episode, because when it comes down to if these two do get voted off, or like they're announced, so like where do you go from there? So what happens in the next episode next week is going to be telling, and I'll be there to discuss a lot of it when that comes to mind. Like I didn't think this was going to be something. I'm not so sure it's going to be something I'll do regularly, because it is an idol series of all things, and so like with idols, it's hard to really do a dissection of analysis of sorts from a casual. I can't say I'm a casual anymore, but it's just more like I'm not really so much an analysis eater. I just type out what I just say or type out what I think, just my frank thoughts. But yeah, this is a really, really good episode. I like how they do the interview. I actually really like how they do the interviews too. Like how, like I know they did it in the previous episodes, but how they were able to get each other's separate things and try to a little bit of a juxtaposition, like how was this person feel, was this person feel. I'm like, oh, they're not really, even though they kind of want to stay with each other, they're not really on the same page as to why. So everything, well, I feel like if the emotions are already there, but I feel like there will be even more with the next episode. I hope it pulls it off. I will try to find, and I heard from what I saw, there was quite a lot of animation directors there, but it didn't feel like the episode was messy by any means. It didn't feel like it was moving too much or anything. So I think it was more of like a scene directing sort of thing. or you know, like, because you know, there's also with Reina having that sort of dream, and you know, with Akarin saying that, oh, you're not, are you, can you really sing from your heart, because it doesn't feel like you are, and then the highlight, and then the spotlight's off her and on Suzune's, her Suzune, uh, has part of Akarin. So to have that sort of dream, and then like the more to know that it's not just simply a dream, it's more like, does she really, she's questioning herself, does she really deserve to be there if she cannot, even though she's not really singing just because she loves singing, but more so just because she's pursuing a ghost of sorts. I'm not big idol fans because most of the time they're making boys idol shows. Well, that's another, okay. that's another topic entirely. That's another topic entirely. And don't worry, I tend to avoid those. Like only if it's only if I'm just curious. I'm just like, you know what, fuck it, I will check it out. Maybe a few episodes. I think because idol shows more, of course, because we need waifus, and then like more so because we don't want, because I'm just gonna be real right now. And like, yeah, people's like, oh, of course they like more girls because they like waifus, and it's like, yeah, that's the same reason why they make more boy idol shows, because they like that, because they want the Fujoshi bait. So we're in an impasse here. But yeah, that's another topic for entirely, as usual. But yeah, it's gonna do it for this kind of special, I guess, parentheses special edition coverage, live reaction of episode 9 of Selection Project. I do not know how much I want to discuss. Like, I don't know how much I'm going to discuss this, you know, like where I type it on Twitter or whatnot. Because like, I know Twitter is kind of is a pain in the ass to go through sometimes. But I had any short on my thoughts. Like maybe we watch a few of the previous episodes and see where I feel after this one. But yeah, thank you guys for coming out. Smash the like button, let me know what you think in the comments below, share this video around, it will really help the algorithms, follow me on the social media platforms I use, or you can join the Discord server. And so for you know, if you want to chat with me more and look for more updates. But that's gonna do it for this edition of Anime Reactions, guys. So Station signing off, see you next time, take care, stay safe,